Okay, hi everyone. I know Leanne just stepped away, but we'll get started. And there's actually some people on here, which is great. And this is not a sales call at all. This is exactly what I said it is. Leanne is going to help us by doing a whole bunch of training videos. I'm very happy that Leanne is taking over. And one of the things that I think Leanne is planning on doing at some point in the future, she has training that she does, and she trains people on how to do internet marketing, and I believe she's going to be updating some of her courses or creating some new courses where all the tracking is done with our new software. And when she does that, I'll certainly let people know when she's releasing those training videos as well. So this will hopefully give her a really good head start in creating those. And are you back, Leanne?
I'm here, yeah. I've heard the entire thing.
Oh, you are. Like I said, this is not a sales call. We're just going to go through the very beginnings of this new software called Trackerly and give Leanne a chance to see the basics so that she can get started going through it on her own account. And we'll talk about some of the benefits and reasons and like why we made the decisions that we made, because we've done things very, very, very differently. This is a complete rethink of how link tracking should work and how link redirects should work. There's a few things that are just totally different, and I think they're way better, but they are different. So we'll talk about the reasons that we made these decisions and the reasoning behind it. So, and again, ask all the questions you want, and I'll answer them, or Leanne will if she can. So getting started, everything happens in this wizard here, and then you have the reports underneath. And if I go up into the wizard, I've organized everything based on kind of what it is. And there's other sections that will be coming here before we launch as well. There's a bunch of things that we've got partially done, or we've got like half done that goes on one side of the code, and we're just got to finish off the interface stuff or something like that. A bunch of new things coming. And the big thing here is there's a separation between trackers and destinations. And that's something that's different from any link redirection system, including what you've been using, Leanne. So when you have a link that you're putting in, you put in the destination, so that you're sending someone to an affiliate link or something, you put in the destination once, and then you create tracking links to go to that destination. And the tracking links are the redirect links. And where before you would put in a redirect link going straight to a destination, and if you wanted another redirect link to track a separate marketing campaign, you'd create a redirect link going to the destination, again putting that destination in a second time, because there was always that 1-to-1 ratio between a redirect link and a destination. Well, now we have a many-to-one ratio where there's many, many, many redirect links of any type on multiple domains, and they're all going to a single destination. So if you want to change where they're pointing, instead of editing the destination on 50 different links, you would take 50 different trackers and reassign them to a new destination. And then you'll know how much the old destination got and how much the new destination got, how much traffic they got, even though they changed halfway through. Where before,
Right, so
you would have no idea.
Track of that. In that case, it keeps track of which, of when you switch destinations. It'll show you, well, to this destination it has, this many clicks, and to this destination it has this many clicks. Yes, and if you change the destination halfway, you know that the first destination got the first 50 clicks, and the second destination got the next set of clicks. Where before you'd have no idea when you changed it or how many clicks went to, because, and go try this, if you edited a destination, right? It looked like that destination already had all the previous traffic that went to that old destination, because it was really tracking the redirect links, not the destinations. We're tracking both separately. So the easiest way to do it is to show you. So let's add a destination. And there's a few things that we've added on for reports that we'll take a look at as well. So just like in version 1 and 2, we have a reference name. So call this John test number 1.
And here's something else that we've added in. It's selecting a niche. And this is a set list that we've put into every account. So you can say, this is for Internet, Web, and Tech, and then you'll be able to say, show me all the traffic that's been going into that niche or another niche. And if somebody's got a better list of niches that they want to send me before we launch, I'm happy to increase that.
Down again?
Uh-huh.
So,
yep.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this is like the standard list of niches that you might have. Okay,
yeah.
so, I mean, to me, I would want to just enter that myself, you know, like a category or something.
I thought about doing that, and the reason that I decided to make it a single list, and I actually had several versions. I was going to, at one point, have it be a collective of everybody's niches that they put in. And, you know, it's kind of complicated because there's so many niches. You could put in 1 billion niches. And one of the reasons is I wanted to be able to collect interesting information across all accounts and be able to say, you know, the coupons niche is doing really well compared to the careers and jobs niche, and then be able to give valuable information to the users of the product based on you know, what we're learning across the board. But it is something that we could make something that is totally what you put in. But you also have your own custom groups, and we'll get to that in a second. So let's say we're sending it to an affiliate link. Let's say it's Google. And then you can start adding your own custom groups. So, you know, testing or, I don't know, search engines.
So this could be like the project you're working on.
Yep, project name. So you can put whatever you want in there to organize it by destination. We had groups in the previous version as well, and they're getting imported into, if you're coming from version 2, imported into the trackers. So there's groups just like this for each tracker, and we have groups for the destination. And you can separate them because you might put a destination in that'll have, well, the groups could just be completely different. I'm sure you can think of some ideas. I've thought of them in the past, but I can't think of any at the moment. But where, you know, the trackers, like you might have for trackers, you might have like bus ads. You know, you're going to be putting QR codes on the sides of buses. I don't know, or whatever. You know, which just wouldn't make any sense for destinations. And these, by the way, are all autocomplete. So if I start typing in, I guess it needs to be saved first, but when we make the next link and I start typing in TES, testing will come up. So it'll help you to stop accidentally entering in duplicate groups. So you could put in your niches here as well. So if you want to organize it that way. And then you can put in notes and whatever, and just, so we'll do that. We'll save it. And then we have the Manage Destination screen. And we've got screens like this for pretty much everything, where if you've got a tracker or something else, a domain, you can go to the management screen and do all sorts of things with it. We won't get into any of this stuff in this call. I just want to give you like a basic tour so you've got the idea of where things are. But if you have any questions as we're going, please interrupt me and let me know.
I'd rather make what I see here, because I see the framed page, which I was really hoping you would keep, and that would pretty much be masked, right? Masked.
Yes, and I don't know if you've read any of my diatribes on framed links. I think framing a site is generally a bad idea, because if you frame a link, that address is in the top from then on as you're surfing around the internet, which is confusing. It breaks the flow of the internet. The wrong things get bookmarked. If you're going from an HTTP site to an HTTPS site, or somebody's, goes from their site that you've taken them to, then they go to the order site and it's supposed to be HTTPS. That's in a frame. You don't see that it's got the little lock there. There's various reasons not to use them. I think they're generally a bad idea. But there's some legitimate reasons to use them as well. But that's why we have the preload frame. And what the preload frame
does is it has a little, loading your page 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and while it's doing that, you can inject stuff. So if you need to put in another tracking code for like Google Analytics, you could put it in there, send it to the destination without a frame, and you still added that extra stuff in there. You can also use it for...
That's awesome, I said.
Oh, good. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things. Like with a preloaded page, you could use it for putting like a full page interstitial ad up before you go and send them to the destination, or a preloading sales page saying, hey, this is the product you're going to go to, click the button, and then it'll continue. And you can just organize it all through there. And in the frame page, you can also use it to inject JavaScript if you want to put in extra tracking code or whatever you want, or you can put an actual visible frame at the top or bottom of the screen, and then with that you can insert whatever. So you could put in the HTML version of the add this social sharing bar instead of having like my social sharing bar, that's branded with Trackerly. We don't even have one. You can just use a standard one, and as long as it will work in the frames. And so you could put ads up there. You could put something that says, brought to you by, and whatever, click here for more, and keep your brand in front of people even when they're on someone else's site. So if you want to do stuff with frames, you've got complete power to do it, even though I would never do it. so I'd like to talk about that sort of stuff in the training, because both have downsides and benefits. Like a preloading page, well, you've got extra time before it loads, even though it's got a nice little animation and a countdown or whatever. It's still extra time where they're not going straight to the page, but it loads everything without interfering with the site, where this interferes with the site, but you have the extra benefits of being able to brand the site however you want. So, but yeah.
So there's a question.
Back on.
Kind of,
yeah.
Yeah. There's a question in the queue that's kind of out of beyond, I think, what we're talking about today. But would this be able to track PPC campaigns like CPV Lab or Tracking Tool too?
Yes. The end result of this, and this is part of the reason we're not actually launching right away. We're doing a pre-sales launch with big discounts because we have a very usable product right now, but it doesn't have everything that I would like it to have for the launch. And when it does launch, I want it to have everything where it will, know the costs and the income coming in, so that you can track your costs and sales and all that stuff. So that's the next thing we're working on right after we launch. Other than a few little tweaks, or if we find anything that's not quite working right, we can add that stuff in, or we'll work on that as well. But the big thing is going to be making it compete with those.
Yeah. So let me interject there and kind of add another level to that question. And I don't know if, I don't know what the name is, but associate will say, I don't know if he or she uses certain aspects of those, but for example, I personally use CPV Lab, and what I like to do with it, and you can tell me if this is something that's going to be possible with Trackerly, is I like to put, be able to change landing pages and split test between a landing page versus linking direct, and doing kind of a different level of tracking, in that I'm not just linking to something specific, but I can go in and maybe change the destination. Maybe that would be it. But to do that with one link, where at the ad network I've got one link in, but then I can come back here in the back office of Trackerly and make a change and say, okay, now I want a split test. I want half of the clicks to go here and half of the clicks to go here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll show you. We can go through some of that today if there's time.
Awesome.
Basically, my goal is that this is going to be the one and only tool that you need for all that kind of work. So yes, it does everything that you're asking about, and if it doesn't, it will soon. So let's continue. So we've got a destination in, and this is usually when we create a link, you're done. You put in the redirect link and the destination at the same time, but again, we don't. So we go over to the trackers, and then we pick our trackers. And this is what we're going to start with, but we only have these 3 working right now, and we'll be adding these in the next few weeks because they're not going to take too long to add. The first one is branded SEO, which is I'm alternating between calling them keyword links and SEO links. And the reasons are, they have keywords in them, like the example. But also they get picked up by search engines, and they can benefit your search engine ranking for the keywords that you put in. And you can have as many sites as you want to put in with whatever keywords, and they're actually on your website hosted by you, and all managed from one place. So that was kind of the same as version 2. Generic short links, we have the domains twi.to and klk.to, and you can create bit.ly style links on there. And we'll soon have them so that you can just install it just like the other, like the keyword links on your own domains, and have short links as well on your own domain. So we have trk.ly or something like that, which we'll be using for short domains, short links. And I think it's better to have your own domain because you're telling people, hey, I'm endorsing this link. It's coming from a safe place. You know me, therefore you know this is a safe link. Where if it's coming, on a bit.ly link or something, that could be going anywhere, right? There's a lot of problems with bad links on bit.ly and stuff like that. So you should always use your own short link, and it doesn't cost you anything extra to do it.
What would be a reason for someone to want to use a generic link of any sort?
Well, the reason we're going to have generic links, we have a domain sendsyou.to, sends you to, where we can put leanne.sendsyou to/keywords. And I wouldn't do it, but we do get people who say, I'd like to use your tool, but I don't have my own domain. And then you get the benefits of the keywords. And if I have a choice between what kind of link I'm going to use, I'm always going to use a branded SEO link because it brands my link, brands my domain, has my site in there, which tells people that I'm endorsing the link. It's got keywords which tell people where they're going to go. It looks like a normal link, so they're more likely going to click on it than something that has a bunch of tracking code in it or doesn't indicate where they're going. So there's been studies done. These kind of links get the most clicks. These kind of links get less clicks because they don't have any of those benefits. Twi.to is meaningless. This is the code after it is meaningless. It doesn't indicate where I'm going. I don't feel as safe clicking on it, so I'm not going to click on it as much as I would. If I don't have my own domain, I don't have my own short domain, at least with this, it's branded somewhat because it'd be Leanne sends you to keywords. And so it's branded with you. It's saying it's from Leanne, and it's got the keywords to indicate where it's going to go. So, that's the reason we have the generic SEO site. I would always use a branded SEO. And to answer Associate Resources question, yes, it's self-hosted. So it's hosted on your own site. And the reason for that is then it's branded to the actual domain that your website is on. So it's using the same brand instead of having to have a secondary domain that's hosted with us that is you've lost the branding. However, having said that, we're going to offer both options at some point in the near future, but not when we launch. But in the near future, the plan is to be able to either install them on your own domains or use a DNS redirect to point them to us.
So having seen Associate Resources' previous question, I'm going to add to that question with a few thoughts, and you can respond to it. So when I think about you hosting it or me hosting it, I think about two things. Number one, I think about speed, and so if it's self-hosted, I would assume that the speed of my server really controls how fast things get redirected and tracked. But the other issue that I think about, because the actual Trackerly, I mean, to log into the dashboard is not hosted on my domain, like say with CTV Lab or Tracking 202. It's hosted on your domain. And so the other issue I think about in that sense of CTV campaigns is, can you see my information? You know, can you steal my campaigns? Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I think about when I think about that question.
Of course, and that is something that we'll have to address. It is possible for me to, of course, log into anyone's account, and I'm often called upon to do so by our clients when they're looking for help or support in something, or something's not working the way they're expecting. They ask me to go into their account. And here's where my previous answer: I'm not a marketer. You know, the only products I have are mine. I don't promote other products. I'll promote a few things here and there that are directly related to what we're doing. Like when you come up with your course, that includes Trackerly as your tracking stuff. I'm going to promote your course, but you know, I'm not doing the same things. And you know, it's about integrity and having a product that people trust and use. I'm not competing with anyone, except for the people who have competing products to mine. So, but I don't think they'll be using my product. So, you know, I'm not sure if there's any way that there's, you know, I can lock things down so that, you know, people would be totally comfortable that it's safe and whatever. But we put in a lot of things to make it so that other people can't track what you're doing. So the destinations, you can hide all the information from them and all that sort of stuff. And we'll talk about that in another training video. So yeah, that's the best answer I can give at the moment.
And I think we're, I really appreciate your answer to that. And I think we're really, you know, I do a lot of very advanced things in terms of tracking online, and apparently you've got some people here on the call who have. But I think, and I don't know if you feel the same way, that we're kind of getting away from the basics, and so I want to let you go back to the basics, and maybe I'll hold back from asking too many questions at this point. I really do want to see how this works.
Okay, all right, and I appreciate Associate Resources. What's your name, by the way? Whoever that is, you know, you're asking some good questions. I don't know what Yes, a Rotates Tour meant. Did you, Leanne? Hi, John.
No, it's a typo maybe.
Okay, so I don't know what you meant by that question, John. And true cloaking, you'll have to ask me, just define what you mean by true cloaking, because cloaking has at least 5 different definitions. So I'll let you type that and I'll continue. So the types of links that we're going to launch with, and we'll have these 3 on our pre-launch that we're doing very soon. And then when we launch, we'll have also have domain redirects, which is if you're doing a more important campaign, and instead of having a link on your site, you might create by domain specifically for that one link and do a domain redirect from, let's say, Trackerlyisawesome.com to your affiliate link for Trackerly. So that'll be something that you can set up and manage from here. And then, of course, QR codes. So those are what we're going to start with, and then we'll be adding other things on afterwards. So let's create a branded SEO link. Okay, so give it a reference name. So here's something else that's new, and this is sort of an experiment to see how we can help people collect some very useful data. Excuse me. So first use type. This is just it's a short list of very top level ways of marketing. So email, and then you can put in details. This is, you know, whatever, broad, whatever. And this is if you're going to put a link out there once, and then you want to see, you know, where the traffic goes from there. So if I put that out there and then people forward it around and it gets placed somewhere else, but I only did it once, then I can start to see how effective the different types are. So I can say that social media versus paid ads, versus email, where am I best putting my time? What's giving me the best return on my time and money? So that's something that we're experimenting with. It's new in Trackerly, and I'm hoping people will use it because I think it will give them a lot of insight when they start doing the reports and they show, compare email to paid clicks to social, and then they can see here's a graph of each and start to see which is doing best. So any questions on anything I'm saying? I'll pause talking for 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that feature actually, because I market with different, using different methods, and email and PPV and anything else, and yeah, I think that would be awesome to see in one place, which never happens, a chart of what's doing better. And that I've never seen that in any tracking software ever. And,
cool. I'm glad you appreciate it. Good. You're the first person I told about that, so that's a nice feedback to get. And by the way, nobody's seen any of this stuff before. You're the first, so I really appreciate the feedback that. Yeah, and that was directed to everybody here. Yes. So any feedback that you're giving is really appreciated. Then, because this is an SEO link, I can select a domain, and I only have one domain. So a text search isn't very useful, but if I had 100 domains in here, a text search would be very useful, and it would just bring up the matching one. So everything where there is a list of things like that has a text search built in with autocomplete so that you can find things very quickly. That's just little user interface niceties is a good word, that I wanted to put in there to just speed things up. I go into accounts where there were 100 domains, and I'm thinking, oh my God, how could anyone use this thing? So that's something I wanted to improve. And then you just put in your keyword links, and we have the no dashes rule here, and I know you know why, hopefully, because of our ability to copy links on the fly. So we kept dashes out of it just to keep things simple. So where am I sending people to? Search Google, whatever. And then I can have my custom groups. So this is based on where I'm putting this, or what kind of link it is, or what kind of campaign it is, or something like that, as opposed to the destination, which is based upon niches and where I'm sending them. So there is a distinction, and they are two separate lists.
No, John, I'm a little confused about that, about the link. So we have the Trackerly and then /. Now, obviously, I'm used to GTT, and what I would put there would be just one word. So what is that extra slash?
Oh, this one here? Is that what you mean? The between search and /Google, that slash?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you can put whatever you want here, as long as the end result is a valid link. So, if you go into your WordPress installations, a lot of the permalink styles that people use on WordPress have keyword after keyword after keyword with slashes in between them, because they're like folders, right? In a typical, what the web server would be expecting. But then WordPress goes and redirects you to the proper page. So it's the same sort of thing. Like I could say, search Google, or I can organize it like that, or whatever. So if I were creating a bunch of different tracking links with the common theme of search, I could have search Google and search Yahoo or whatever, right?
So now you have the ability to, it's almost like you can, not really create categories, but it's almost as if you can create categories for your website and have, like I do a lot of biz ops, so, top secret, don't share this with anyone / something else, and you could really kind of dig down in directories in a way.
Yeah, and you could always do that from version 1 on. So sorry you didn't know that. As long as the end result is a valid link, it could even be, a JPEG or whatever if you were redirecting someone to an image. But it doesn't have to be. As long as it's a valid URL and doesn't have dashes. So now the other thing is, if I'm making a link, and it's an SEO link, I might want to create a new domain, because I might say, oh, it's not here, I need to create a new domain. And then it will pop you over to our installer, and you can go and do an install. And I just like to say, by the way, and this is something I'm going to look into fixing, these should all be evenly aligned, and it drives me nuts that it isn't, but it's LastPass's injection of code that changes the alignment of my form. If I didn't have LastPass on, it would all look perfect. But I'll show you a video of me installing that domain, and let me know if this plays correctly. I have a nice little logo. So basically, let's mute that. I scroll down to the Add Manage Domains, and there's different ways of getting into this. And here would be where all my domains are listed. I click on New Domain, and I get to that page you just saw. And this is just me installing it on my own website, so I could send out that webinar link today. So you put in that information, and this is the new installer. And I really like this. The old, okay, hold on, I'm going to pause it. Pause. The old installer that I had, I designed in 1995. That's when I bought the domain setupbot.com, and this is a bit better. It's much nicer. Repairs are exactly the same as installs. There's no choices. It just goes in and figures things out if you have to repair or upgrade the domain, and it's quite nice. So one of the things that you probably know, but we should cover in the training, is when you're installing a site, one of the things it needs to have is a 404 page working properly. It has to go somewhere. It can go to the home page, but that's not really ideal for SEO. It's not getting like when Google comes to your site, they're not going to get a proper response if you are sending it to a home page. You can have, so we have 3 options. You can have it point to an existing one and just put in the URL, or we'll install a generic looking 404 page that is properly set up for Google, or you can use your home page. And I picked the middle one to install our own. And that way we can make sure that everyone who's using Trackerly has this set up properly, or at least hopefully properly. And do you understand how the back end works, Leanne, with the 404 redirect?
So 404 just, the issue is if you, if you send someone to a page that's not on your site, they get redirected to the 404 page, which is, sorry, that doesn't exist.
Right.
And that's the limit of my knowledge.
Okay. And the way Trackerly work is that instead of sending people to a 404 page when a page does not exist, it goes through Trackerly, checks to see if it's a Trackerly link that they're trying to find, and if it is, it sends them on their way to that link, and if it isn't, then it goes to your 404 page. So if you don't have a 404 page, it'll go in an endless loop. It'll just be looping around. Is that page that doesn't exist? No? Okay, send them to the 404 page. 404 page doesn't exist. Okay, and then it loops. So you have to have a working 404 page. So a lot of people just pointed their thing to their home page, but we added this option so that they can have a proper Google-friendly one that doesn't mess up with their what's that thing called? The Google Web Master Suite, I think it's called. When you check your site with that, using this option will give you an OK, where using this option will not.
So the install an SEO-friendly one, does that just install a 404 page?
Yeah, that's all it does. The copy's over a 404 page. It's set up correctly. It's just a generic, this page doesn't exist, and it has a button on it that'll take you back to your home page.
Okay.
So very simple. So I'll pick that, and then you hit next, and this is the installer in action. I love this installer. So yeah, the first thing it does is it goes in and it uploads a few things so it can check to see if your system is going to work or not. And if it doesn't work, it'll give you a warning message and tell you what to tell your web host to do to get your site compatible. Then it uploads the entire app and configures everything, including changing your htaccess file to point your 404 over to us. And then it actually goes and tests to make sure it's working right and confirms that everything is fine, and then it's done. And that's a complete install from start to finish. And it's super easy to set it up on your domain. We wanted to really take away that barrier to entry of having the technical knowledge of how to do that and make it as simple and clean as we could. And then when you're done, you go over to the domain management page, which is you never really need to look at. But we'll get to that stuff later.
Nice. So you've got some comments in the chat, and we're getting at.
Do I?
I feel the same way.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so, and I was going to say, I feel the same way, and I think it's, just on a side note, it's very rare to find someone who's an amazing programmer and at the same time designs well. You know, a good user designer, I guess, or user end designer. So, yeah, so it's nice.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm hoping that this will be very easy to use. One of the reasons I hated doing the training videos before is that every time I started to do it, I was like, but this has to work better. I don't like it. So I just like, I'm going to redo it all from scratch. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to get it right. And that's hopefully this is pretty close to right, and it'll keep getting better. So just sticking with this section here, you can get to this from a few different places. Just so we know, over here you can get to your domain list, and go straight back over to here, and tells you when you added the domain, how many visits that domain has ever had over here, 49, and how many tracking links you have on that. And it also has a status. Everything's groovy, no problems here. Just having a little fun with that. You can add a domain by going to the, you can add a link or a destination by going to the wizard and going here and managing your destinations here. You can also scroll down to over here to add a branded domain. You can also add trackers and destinations straight from here. So, and as a third place, we have a bookmarklet, which you just grab this thing and drag it up to your bookmark bar, which I have turned off at the moment, and then that will give you access to the entire section of the wizard for adding links, destinations, and trackers, so that as you're surfing the web, you can just say, I want to add this page in, and it'll add the destination, and if that page is already in, it'll create a tracking link for it. So you can play with that on your own, because it's exactly the same as what comes up here. So I think, let's see. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go to my destinations list. So here's my test that we just made. Nobody's clicked on it. So normally that would be green, and it would say the number of tracking links that I have. So I'm just going to create a short. I might have stopped at the end and not saved it. I can't remember. So got my first use site. Let's say it's going to be an email, and save it.
Here's a quick question. If you don't add a custom group in any place, whether it's in the tracker or the destination, will there be an option to search for ungrouped or non-tagged destinations or trackers?
There will be now. Now that you mentioned it, I don't think I thought of that. So I will put that in the ideas list.
Okay.
Yeah, and I since I haven't seen the screen, I don't think I saved that last one. So everything is working fine. Ability to search for or things with no group. So there might be that ability, there might not. I'll check as we go through it. There might be already. So after you've created a tracker, you've got the tracker management thing, and you can click here to go to the stats for it, or click here to go to the destination, or to test it. We'll have to talk about deleting data and disabling. This is a bit different. Once something's in there, it's in there, unless it hasn't been used yet. So if it hasn't been used, I can edit it, but once it's used, it's in there. So we can disable things, but we can't delete it. We can delete the data for testing purposes. There is no data yet because it hasn't been clicked. So we'll talk about all the reasoning behind that stuff offline later on. But then once you've got this set up, you can start. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just real quick, John. So that's very interesting what you just said. Once people start clicking on this link, could I edit the destination?
No, sort of.
So if I accidentally sent someone to, I created the link and I blasted out an email, and then I said, oh, crud, this is a private page. I don't want anyone to see this. I can't change it now, and I can't disable the link.
Okay, let's do that right now. So I'm going to go and edit this destination. So once I'm on a tracker, I can get to the destination right here. So I will click on it, go to that destination, and I'm going to edit it. And you see right now, I can change it.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen that saving thing before. Now, if I go to the trackers for this link, you see it says there's one, and I go through it. I'm sure that opens in a new tab, but let's see where it goes. Okay, Yahoo. Now, if I go and manage this destination and edit it, I can't. And there was a very good reason for that. The reason is that then if I start editing this now, I won't know how much traffic I sent to that link, whether it's Yahoo or Google or your affiliate link or whatever. If it's a good link or a bad link, a mistake or not, I need to know how much traffic I sent there. So as soon as you start changing stuff, it can only be changed by assigning the tracker to a new destination. So what I would do is I'd go to new destination, and I would call it Yahoo. Actually, watch this. Oh, sorry. What does it set to now? It sets to Yahoo now.
Yeah.
It won't let me put it in. It already exists. So set into Google, save, and then if I go to the oh, sorry, what was that screen? I'm not sure if I wasn't paying attention. I was getting ahead of myself. Okay, so it's in there. So I've got my Yahoo and I've got my Google. And if I go to Yahoo, there's a button here, Move Trackers. And I can select them all. That was only one. And then sign them over to there. So now I know that I sent, if you made a mistake, you'll know that one person went to that wrong link. And so where before you wouldn't have known, because you change it and there'd be no reference later on. So does that all make sense? Does anyone else have any questions out there, by the way? I know I'm rambling on. I don't even know if everyone's gone away now. It's this is really quite about showing Leanne how to make training videos. But I'm happy to have you all watching and glad you showed up. Thank you.
And definitely on my end, I mean, questions are really appreciated because when I create the training, I want it to be useful to you and to everybody else. So if you've got a question or a concern, then probably 1,000 other people do too. And so it would be great to address those in the training videos.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things is it does so much. It's like I tried to keep it very organized, but it can be overwhelming. I would imagine there's a lot this thing does, and I'm totally relying on you to make it easy for people to understand. So there's how are we doing on time? By the way.
As far as I'm concerned,
yeah, as far as you're concerned, I got all night.
Yeah, but I'm okay for another 10, 15 minutes. You got a really good question in the queue from Rusty. He says, can we drop a retargeting pixel on the way to an affiliate product?
Right, so that's where we can use our preload frame or our preload page or our framed page. And this is brand spanking new. It just got added last week because we we finished today actually. So I haven't tested this yet, but we can give it a shot. See, there you go. This is what happens when I haven't tested something yet. The text gets hidden by the. So anyway, new preloader. So let's say I wanted to drop it. So dropping affiliate link. Now, I'll be honest, Rusty, I don't really like this technique. I know there are times when it's really useful. So what I did is decided instead of officially supporting the ability to drop affiliate links, I would instead just give you the power to do whatever you want. And if you happen to want to use it that way, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you. But I'm not going to also just. Yes.
Yeah, no. What he's asking is not to drop an affiliate link, but to drop a retargeting system, which would allow him.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which yeah.
Never mind.
Which would allow him to run a campaign afterwards, and and target those people who were interested enough to click the link, for example.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what he means. I just briefly forgot what he said. So yes, dropping a retargeting pixel. There's, again, two ways to do this. One is you can drop it in a frame and on the page that you're on, or you can drop it in the preloader. So if you're dropping it in a preloader, we could do something completely on our own with our own page that'll get loaded that has all our JavaScript injected in it, or we can just put in some text. Default is just loading, but you're on your way, and display it for 3 seconds, and then when they, let's go to the next page there, and then you can just inject your JavaScript. So we'll have examples, but for that, you're going to be supplied with JavaScript by your whoever you're buying your ads from. They're going to supply you with the JavaScript that you would want to put in to serve that cookie. So you would just drop it in here, and yes.
What about PHP code, or I mean, does it have to be JavaScript, or can it be any HTML? Because I'm thinking, if I were to drop an affiliate pixel, even though you don't, you don't like that, I might like that.
No.
If I did that, I might want to put an image, an HTML code basically, or PHP code in some cases. So can I do that, or am I limited to JavaScript?
Currently, you're limited to JavaScript unless you want to send them to your own URL. So you could have a page that just shows you're on your way, or whatever text you want, or whatever image you want, or nothing, or just like a loading ... and has whatever you want. So you could put PHP on there, whatever. That will be loaded in a frame in the preloader, and 3 seconds later, or whatever you set here, it will continue on to your link. So you can do whatever you want. You have total control to do whatever you want. If you're going to be using it through here, we'll have to, we've limited it currently to JavaScript. I will consider, since you're bringing it up, the benefits and drawbacks of allowing PHP and HTML. A little nervous about PHP, just for security reasons.
Okay.
And HTML, you can just put it, load to whatever page you want. So you could set that up in a couple of minutes to do whatever you want. So yeah, you do have total control. Doing it through our interface, you are limited to JavaScript if you're just going to paste it in here. So, but yeah, with Rusty, with the different hop formats, I'll take a look and make sure. Like, if there's anything I'm missing, let me know, because, like I said, this is a brand new feature that we just finished off, and as you can see, like, it doesn't even fit into the interface correctly with the help and stuff, because I haven't even looked at it yet, or at least the final version of it. So if there's something missing, let me know. And if it needs to include like a link to an image, or it needs to have the option of having HTML instead of JavaScript, or needs to have PHP, let me know why. Let me know how you would use it, and yeah, I'll certainly let it or consider adding it in. Like, I want to have this be, it's like, oh, it does everything I need but this, and you can't use it. I want it to be complete. So yeah, let me know. And if you guys, you can go over to the help section of our help.trackerly forums, and you can just report problems here or put in your feature requests over here, and that's a great place to add them. So at help.trackerly. Thanks, Rusty. I'll be sending out links to get in a couple of weeks. So we're just at this point, other than cleaning up the text on this page, we have to create all the billing stuff. When I say create it, we need to copy it over from our old product and put it in here. So I just clean it up. So all the HTML, all the sales pages, everything, it's all done. All the emails are ready. It's just tying it all up together. So it won't be too long. It's a bad form to set up links that look plain but are not. So it's actually hiding the links or affiliate links. Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I don't know. That's that's something that you'll have to decide yourself. I don't think so, really. I mean, there's a couple of things to consider. The Can Spam, or I believe that's what it's called, Act, requires you to disclose that you have affiliate links. So it's a good idea to tell people that you've got an affiliate link. In fact, a good affiliate is going to be bragging that it's an affiliate link, because they're going to be adding value in some way that, as opposed to doing things to try and sneak it in on people. They're going to be saying, make sure you got my affiliate link so you get my bonuses, or whatever. But you still want your links to look clickable and be trackable. So if you give people direct affiliate links, you can't track them, not the same way. If you give them, so you're going to give them some kind of redirect link, and redirect links are everywhere. Like the entire web runs off of redirect links. So you're going to be giving them something like that. And can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Please do. Please email me, and I'll certainly try and answer the question better than I am at the moment. Then. But Yeah, I mean, you want to use so can we be affiliates for Trackly? Absolutely, Sandra. With promoting Trackly, just to answer that question, I'm going to be individually letting in people and talking to them first. We don't have the, I'm not going to have an open affiliate network thing like I did before, maybe later, but right now we're just doing a pre-launch. I just want to sell enough to get people in, kicking the tires, trying things out, getting feedback, while we work on the rest of the features that we want to have in there for the launch. And, it'll be good to pay the bills through the product itself. That would be nice instead of me footing the bill. But also, I just want enough people in there, just enough. So I'm not going to do a big push right now. So a handful of affiliates to get in the people we need. Yes, Shira, different variables. Let's take a look at variables briefly. Actually, variables is a huge, huge subject. We'll talk about that in another video because we could spend 2 hours on variables all alone. But yes, you can have different links. Aww. I just noticed the meeting temperature for the first time just plummet down to dislike. With the variables, you can have pretty much anything you can imagine you can do with variables. It's very, very powerful, and there's a lot that we'll have to talk about. So there's going to be half dozen training videos on variables alone. So there's a few things I'd like to cover just from the very, very basics, just so Leanne has a bit more knowledge about a few things, and then we'll move on. In all of these dialogues in the wizard, there's going to be text search so you can limit your things. So if I type in test, you'll see meeting burger disappear. I didn't press enter or anything. It actually does it as I'm typing. And you can sort it by different things so you can find anything quickly. So if you have thousands of trackers and thousands of destinations and things like that, we've made it really easy to find what you're looking for. Also, you can go over to the group filter, and I can pick one of my groups, and it'll show me how many destinations I've got it, how many clicks that entire group has had, and then I can click on that, and it will just show me the destinations that fit in that group. And same with trackers. So there's a couple of things for just finding things that make things really fast and easy for people that I wanted you to be aware of for when you're making training videos, because I'm hoping you'll be able to start any day now. And I don't know. I think that's the stuff that you need to know for the very, very basics for getting started. I mean, that'll give you lots to work on. Do you have any other questions?
Not right now. And once I hop in there and I can click around and test things, I think I'll have a lot more questions. I'll just, shoot you over questions on Skype, and then if it's time to do another call, we'll set that up with your list again.
Okay. And yeah, when you're getting in there, just take a look around. We've got most of it's working, but there's a few things you'll see are disabled, and they're disabled because it's either not quite done, or it could be disabled because you don't have 2 links or 2 destinations in yet, so you can't use something that requires 2 destinations or something. But we don't have scheduled offers yet, and you can get to your different things from here. So if you want to look at all your groups that I don't have any tracker groups yet. If you where to go? List of things. So destination groups, for instance, I can go over here and I can, select 2 and then merge them into 1 or something like that to help you keep organized. One of the things I really wanted to make it easy for people is to stay organized, because I saw in version 2 how so many people had different variations of the same tags or groups or something like that, and this will help them keep that clean, because as you put them in, it will auto-correct them, and then if you do somehow end up with 2 of the same name, you can merge them together into 1. or more.
So
or
if you spell one thing with an S, one thing without an S, or you have a typo, you can just put them together afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. So you can edit it. Like if I merge these two, it will ask me, or it'll give me a completely blank. Oh, right. That's odd. It should have the two listed here too. Okay, I'll found a bug. There's a lot of stuff in here, so sometimes I miss something. Merge groups bug doesn't list groups on edit on merge. That used to work. I remember testing that before. So anyway, so there's it's really, we're trying to keep it really organized and make sure that people don't get a big mess of stuff, so that they can actually get through things fast and find things that they're looking for. And so there's a bunch of little tweaks around that you'll find to help with that. And so yeah, so that's something to look for. And if you start looking at this, because in version 2 you had the affiliate links being saved, I'd like to have a training video talk about using it in conjunction with LastPass, as opposed to saving them with us. But here's the way you can just log into your affiliate links, and it works differently too. And a lot of things are like this. You create your list of affiliate links and then assign them to destinations. So if you have a affiliate login, I should say, a login for ClickBank, you can assign that to all your ClickBank links instead of having it duplicated 20 times. Little things like that keep you organized. So
it's really like one place to really manage everything, including even affiliate logins and everything you need. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah. I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone who stuck around and listened to all that. I hope you like what you saw. It's been a long time. I've been working on this, and it's kind of exciting to actually show it to somebody and get some positive feedback. I can't wait to get you all on it, and I hope you love it, and I hope it really helps your marketing. So yeah, and yeah, I guess that's it. We'll have another webinar, and we'll go through some more detailed things once Leanne has had a chance to get into the meat of it and has her own account, and then we'll start looking at some really complicated stuff that it can do, and hopefully it'll be really simple to use to do the complicated things. So, thanks everyone.